Hey everyone, it's Dave from Dave's Ohio Barbecue and more. Today I am going to be doing a side-by-side comparison of two of my favorite smoking thermometers. Stick around. So this is the Thermoworks Smoke. This is a really popular thermometer with a lot of smokers and grillers. It's got a good reputation. Thermoworks makes, the ThermoPen. They make a lot of high-end scientific thermometers. So they are known for their accuracy and they are known for their reliability. So in the box, what we've got, you've got a meat probe. That's the one with the pointy end there. You've got a clip for holding the temperature thermometer for the cook chamber. And then you have a strap that goes onto the receiving unit so you can put it around your wrist. And then lastly, here's the probe that you would put inside the cook chamber. It's got that blunt end. It goes in that clip there. Tells you how hot your cooker is. This is the receiving unit right here. Okay, it's got a little button on the bottom that will make it light up. And then you've got the actual unit here where you can set things like the high temperature, the low temperature, change the volume, turn the alarm off, things like that. Really sturdy, really well built. In addition to the thermometer, I also bought a case. They sell it on the website. I thought it would be nice to keep all my thermometers kind of tucked away in. I don't think this is the final configuration of what I end up actually using it, or how I end up using it, but everything fits in there, all the thermometers. I also bought, and I might show it here, the Thermoworks gateway. That's that little thing right there going in the pocket. That allows you to connect the thermometer to your Wi-Fi so that you can monitor it with an app on your phone. I'm not really going to review that in here because the other thermometer that I'm comparing this to does not have that capability. But for an extra anywhere from $75 to $99, you can get that little gateway adapter. So as of the time of recording this video, the Thermoworks Smoke, the gray thermometer, you can buy that through their website, thermoworks.com, and it was running for $99. It comes in 6 or 7 different colors, and that's really the best place to get it from because you're not going to get it cheaper from any other retailers. So the next one we're going to unbox is the ThermoPro TP-08S. This one you can get on Amazon for, I believe, around $46 last time I checked. It's a pretty useful thermometer. I use this one in a pinch quite a bit. You may be asking yourself, why do I have all these different thermometers? If you've got a lot of things cooking at once, it comes in handy. If you've got 2 smokers going, things like that. I like to have options. Same thing though, this one's got the sending unit, the receiving unit. It's got the same thing, but this clip that for the cook chamber, it's more of a clip designed to hook onto the edge of a pot. I don't find it very handy inside of the cook chamber. In fact, I use a clip that I have for another smoker thermometer for that. You've got the receiving unit. So now on this one, the receiving unit has all of the controls for volume, for cook time, all that built into the receiving unit. So the receiving unit's a little bit bigger and bulkier than with the smoke. And then the sending unit is actually just a simple little unit that has just an on button and a Celsius and Fahrenheit, and that's about it. So big difference there. You have to carry around quite a bit more when you're using this thermometer if you want to keep it on you. It has more buttons on it. One of the pluses is, though, you can control the limits and stuff. Like if you're inside the house, you can set it to high, low, and make the alarms go off when you want to. And of course, it also comes handily with batteries for you to put in. Pretty straightforward. So I didn't want to test the accuracy of these thermometers by using a piece of meat. The problem is you put the probe in a different piece of meat or a different area, you're not going to get the same temperature reading, so it's not going to be that accurate. Instead, what I did was I took this little board here, I drilled some holes through it, and I have all of them sitting in water, and I'm going to measure the temperature of this water until it gets to boiling. As you know, the boiling point of water is 212 degrees, so hopefully when this starts coming to a rolling boil, both of these thermometers, all 4 of the probes, should read 212 degrees. We'll see. So I found this kind of interesting. Once I got the pot to a rolling boil, the ThermoPro, the orange thermometer, actually, kind of hovered in right at about 212. It bounced back up and down between 210 and 212. The Thermoworks Smoke never got any higher than about 210. It bounced between 208 and 210. So it was a couple degrees off. The ThermoPro, the orange one, seemed to be a little bit more accurate reading the temperature. So honestly, there's about a 2 or 3 degree difference in the calibration of these thermometers. When you're talking about bringing a brisket up to 200, 203, that's not going to make ton of a difference. So I'm not too worried about it. But I do find it interesting that the higher end thermometer is the one that's a little bit more inaccurate than the cheaper one that I bought. So for the real world test on this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to smoke a couple chickens on my Bayou Classic offset smoker. The accuracy of this test is not going to be great because the chickens are different sizes, the breasts are different sizes, you're putting the thermometer in different locations, it's never going to be exactly the same. So this is going to be more of a ballpark test. It's going to give me a rough estimate of how closely the 2 thermometers are reading. As for the cook chamber thermometers, I put them right next to each other, so they should be getting pretty close to the same temperature air, and the reading should be pretty close on that as well. So got all the probes into the meat, got the wires arranged, closed the smoker, and then off we go. Right off the bat, I like how the smoke rests on my shelf a little better. It's got a little kickstand that comes out of the back, and you can just kind of lean it on an angle. Real easy to see. Numbers are nice and bright. It's backlit if you want it to be. Really nice. The ThermoPro has this weird metal clip on the back that I can never really get at the right angle. I usually just end up hanging it off the edge, but then I can't see it. You can see here it's much easier to read the ThermoPro at the angle I was at. And this thing just kind of, I don't know. I just don't like the way it stands. To compare the temperatures of the chicken breast, what I'm using is my Thermoworks Thermopen, which is pretty much an industry standard for taking temperatures. You can see here it's reading about 167, and I've got 164 on the smoke, and I've got 166 on the ThermoPro. So right about the same ballpark. Once again, these thermometers are not in the same part of the meat, so it's not going to be 100% accurate. So let's talk about the wireless range. So here's an aerial shot of my house. Okay, my smoker is located on my back patio, right where this little red circle is. For the Thermoworks Smoke and the ThermoPro, I went to every different spot of my house, and it got a perfect signal everywhere inside the house. I even went to the farthest corner of the house there where the green star is. Nothing dropped out. It was fine. So all my property's fine. So the next thing I started to do was started walking around the front yard. The smoke made it all the way to the front of my front yard where the street is. Pretty good signal, and didn't drop out. But then it started, once I started getting near my neighbor's driveway there, it started sort of fading a bit. As for the ThermoPro, that thing not only made it down past my neighbor's house, it made it halfway through my next neighbor's property. I mean, I was really far away, and that thing held its signal really well. You can see here the difference in the receivers. The smoke is real simple. It just has that button that turns it on, turns on the backlight, and mutes an alarm if it's going off. As for the ThermoPro, you've got everything here. You can set a timer. You can set the max temperature, the minimum temperature. You can turn on a light. You can silence it. All the buttons are there on the receiving unit, and that's what you carry around with you. So as functionality goes, I honestly prefer the smoke. It's really, really simple to use. You've got a button for the light, you've got a button for your volume. To set the high and low based on the probe, you just press the set button once, and you'll see it'll allow you to set the upper end of your temperature. So there I have it at like, 332 or something. Press it again. You can do the lower range. You can see I'm setting it to 27 degrees. And then you press it again and you're done. It's really simple. It's really intuitive. As for the ThermoPro, that one just, I don't know. It doesn't seem very intuitive to me. I didn't like the feel of the buttons. They don't have very sturdy buttons. They're kind of wobbly, cheap plastic feeling. The Thermoworks Smoke is really solid feeling, and this just feels kind of almost like a toy. So as functionality goes, I definitely prefer the Smoke over the ThermoPro. Just for make. It just seems like a much more solid thermometer. So as my final opinion here, the ThermoPro, the orange one, definitely wins on price. Like I said, I saw it on Amazon for $46. For $46, you're going to get a really good, a functioning thermometer. It may not be the easiest to set up, but it works. The range is fantastic, and everything. It does everything you want it to do. The Smoke for $100 from their website is going to deliver better functionality. The range isn't as good. So it loses in range and it loses in price. But what it's missing in those two categories, it totally makes up for in the functionality. The thing is just slick. It feels super well built. It's so easy to read. And the range thing doesn't really bother me because I'm really not going to be taking this thermometer 2 houses down while I'm cooking a brisket or something. So it has plenty of range for my entire property. I just like the ease of use of it much better, and that is my go-to thermometer. But both of them get a thumbs up from me. I just prefer the Smoke a little bit more. Thanks for watching. As always, make sure you follow me on social media at Dave's Ohio Barbecue on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Click that little subscribe button down on the bottom, and then click the bell so when I post new videos, you'll get a notification. I should have some more stuff coming out real soon. Once again, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.